Good morning. It is September 24th. It is a Saturday. It is 6:36 in my locale. It's currently 78 degrees. It's supposed to go up to 90. The big concern on the weather right now is the possibility of a hurricane on Tuesday, which may or may not mean that I either have to help pull boats on a Monday, which is my day off, or they'll leave them there if things look okay, and I'll just have to be here on a Tuesday and just make sure nothing blows around. Then again, it's a weather thing, so it may or may not happen in the first place. So it's not worth panicking about, just looking a little forward ahead. Again, I'm sorry this video is a little late this morning. For some unknown reason, I got up at 4:30 like I usually do, and I just did not want to get up, and I went back to bed until 6, which is very, very uncommon. Queso supported the entire endeavor because he went back to bed until 6 as well. He's currently sleeping next to me. All right. Today's daily Zen poem is, what is the truth? The truth is the reality of mind. The reality of mind is formless and pervades the 10 directions it is being used presently, right before your eyes, yet people do not trust it sufficiently, so they accept terms and expressions, seeking to assess Buddhism conceptually in the written word. They are as far away from the sky as from the earth, and that's Lin Chi, who died in 867. It seems a lot like what I usually say, which is, what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe what you are experiencing, what you are seeing, what you are understanding, what you are observing and then, thinking about? Or are you going to believe what somebody else says is happening? And I would say about 100% of the time, if somebody says something's going to happen, I usually go out and I check. There are very few people in the world that, if they tell me the sky is blue, that they will not see me immediately get up and go open a window or a door and check. Okay, that may be a personal failing, or just maybe that I generally do not trust people. However, I really believe that you, me, everybody else, our senses and our cognition will tell us a lot more than written word or anything else. Okay, and if you do read something, because I read a lot to learn, test it. Take it outside and test it and see if it actually works in the real world, because there are plenty of things that you can read about that are nice but don't work in the real world. All right, so our daily rune pull. Hang on. You're going to look at it backwards. I'll try to twist it. This is Burkana. Okay. And Burkana is the rune of growth. So let's see what it says. Here we go. It's another cycle rune. What a surprise. Burkana denotes a form of fertility that fosters growth both symbolically and actually. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, family matters, one's relationship to oneself, and to the divine. A rune that leads to blossoming and ripening, Burkana is concerned with the gentle flow of beings, and its action is gentle, persuading, and pervasive, and penetrating. It's called for going into things deeply with care and awareness. First, you have to disperse the resistance and then accomplish the work. For this to happen, your will must be clear and controlled, and your motives correct. Any dark corners should be cleaned, and this might be carried out diligently or sometimes with expert help. Modesty, patience, fairness, and generosity are called for here. Once that resistance is dispersed and rectification carried out and seen to hold firm, then through steadfastness and right attitude, the blossoming can occur. That's it. That is an interesting way to go after it today. So let's see. No obligatory case of you. He's asleep, and I think he has a hurt tooth because he's been not eating as much as he usually does. So I'll have to give him some aspirin and try that again in a few minutes. Message of the day is, well, it's September 24th. We've been hearing the chatter about this date for quite a while, at least 2 weeks. So the message today is, again, just let's go back to the Zen poem. Truth is the reality of mind. Use your senses. Don't walk around on the cloud and don't listen to what other people are telling you. The rune's talking about growth and rectification, growing things, fixing things, disperse the resistance and then do the work. So my message is, do you have a resistance to something? Maybe something is not, you're not liking it. Do you have to get rid of that resistance and then do the work? Do you have to listen and then check? Okay, I'll use myself as the example. Again, we've watched this date come up over and over again. We don't know what's going to happen. So what am I doing? I'm doing a little bit of reading. I'm not getting a lot of data or information, so it seems to me that this is made up to create anxiety. I go out, I open the door, and I go look. Talk to other people around here, and they have either no idea about it, or they're generally oblivious. They're like, yeah, it's just Saturday, don't you work? So there's no sense in talking to people around here about it. What else could I say? Just, do your own thinking. Test it yourself. That's very, very, very important. Okay? Be careful today. Don't believe everything you're reading today. Don't believe anything people say to you today. Take it out and test it. And make today a day, while we're waiting for something to happen, which may not. Make today a day of your own personal growth. And decide something you want to work on for you, or in your house, or with your families, and disperse that resistance and then do the work. Okay. My plan is to go to work. It's a Saturday. The good news is that we had 4 tours yesterday, which kept me hopping and busy. And I'm helping to train another guy who's going to help us. The bad news is that we have an antiquated computer system, no surprise here, that runs everything, including the gas pumps. And it's broken. So nobody can get any gas. And if they're going to buy something today, nobody can operate the register. So it's got to be a cash only event. That means that, you're going to have to buy your ticket. You're going to have to use cash. We're going to have to write it down. Okay. And, put it in a ledger the old fashioned way, and then give you your tickets. What else did I say? Oh, yesterday, coming home from work. Okay. Right by the road that we turn into to get in here. I got a ride from the other naturalist yesterday. Right on the side of the road, right before we turned onto the road, we were looking, and I was like, what is that in the road? And he said, yeah, I was wondering the same thing. We got closer to it and it started moving. And you're not going to believe this because it's not supposed to be here. It was about a 7-foot alligator. Ran right into the trees. Not toward the water, just right into the trees. And we went, whoa, that's kind of neat. We're not supposed to see alligators here. We're supposed to see crocodiles. So I talked to one of the other people, one of the higher ups here, and they said, yeah, I think they said they've seen him over by housing a time or two. They're the employee housing. So that's about 150 yards from me, not too far away. So very, very interesting, very curious and exciting. So we're going to have to see if we can spot him again today. And he was running. I was actually watching an alligator run on land, and it was pretty fast. I was a little surprised. So, but if somebody told me, I'd kind of given that weird eye, but I tested it by seeing it myself, observing, and then thinking about it and saying, okay, this can happen. They can be out of range, and I saw it. So it does exist. Okay. So other than that, like I said, I will keep watching the videos. I'll keep watching, like Pinball, and I'll keep watching Patara, and I'll keep watching some other people. Prepared Homestead, and definitely watch Travis. Dan, I'll check in with. He's got long videos, so he's hard. I like to turn him on and then go cook dinner because I don't have to see what he's doing. I can just listen. And I advise you do too. You should take the time every day to learn something new about preparedness, to learn something new about how to take care of your family, food systems, things like that, anything. Just keep working on getting new skills. Okay. Other than that, I'm going to be off to the shower in a minute. So thank you very much. Be very, very careful today. We have no idea what's going to happen. And if nothing happens, don't let yourself go into a state of anxiety about it. Don't put yourself in a state of anxiety now. Just be calm. Use your wits about you. Keep looking around. test reality, make sure that it's what you say it is, you know, and if you're wrong, you change it. You change your mindset. Have a good day, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.